I think the most important thing to talk about, though, with the safety car, as you've already mentioned before, is that Russell is being told, at this point he's in P10.
He is in B10.
He's sitting pretty for some points. And his
He
engineer
is on
is
old
the radio.
tyres, may I add. He's on old tyres. So he didn't box, did he?
He was on softs.
Okay, maybe he did box then.
So I think he did box.
Okay, carry on.
But he maybe... I can't remember exactly when he pitted, but I'm pretty sure he was on softs when this happened. But anyway, he was basically being told by his engineer that he needed to keep the temperature in the tyres in order to have an effective restart. And so Russell is there sort of, giving it the heavy brakes and then putting it back
quick
on.
throttle, yeah.
And he just makes a mistake, just gives it too much and
man.
bins it under a safety car.
Now, man.
He has a bit of a moment out of the car. It really reminded me, and I think Martin Brundle mentioned this. It kind of reminded me of Hakkinen at the Italian Grand Prix in '99, where he was leading the championship, and he selected the wrong gear going into one of the chicanes and just careered off the road.
It.
Had some tears by the side of the road, and that was kind of what Russell very much looked like. He was asking the marshals to leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Yeah, a moment of reflection.
Binning it under the safety car is understandably an action that genuinely results in people being quite derisive, because it is a bit of a rookie move what he did.
Yeah.
But I can only hope that he will come out of this, like you say, a bit of reflection, and he'll come out stronger, because let's not forget that. Don't forget when Hamilton binned it into the gravel trap in the pit lane in China.
Yeah.
So
and this is what I wanted to talk about, and it's just the public's reaction to and how it differs from driver to driver. A couple of years ago, we're racing at Baku. There's a safety car. Grosjean loses it and bins it in the wall, and that guy got so much hatred. He was, it's a tight track, almost as tight as as Imola. Tight track. He's warming up his tires. He's getting his brakes up to temperature. And he bins it, puts it in the wall. And he was slated, absolutely slated. Bottas done it last year in Silverstone. Spun it, didn't break anything, but spun it under the safety car. Again, the guy got absolutely slated for it. What's he doing? You can't bin it under the safety car. Russell does it. He gets a whole heap of support. And I love sport.
Don't forget Verstappen nearly binned it completely under during the installation lap as well.
Oh, very true. Yeah, he did. And again, probably got negative feedback for it, but it was just, and I'm all for positive feedback. I'm a massive, positive attitude kind of guy. And it was nice to see everyone get behind Russell, because it clearly bothered him. He chucked away potentially his first points. He chucked away what could have been what would have felt like a win for him. It was good to see the whole community rally up, and support him. A couple of drivers did as well. Roman Grosjean, really nice segment. He was the first driver of the current grid to comment on an Instagram post, and it was really nice to see him support, mentioning that Russell's got years ahead of him. He's only starting his career, and actually everyone makes mistakes. Hamilton dropped in a couple of hours later and said exactly the same thing, which was really nice. But I just find it bothers me how we all rally up against one driver and give him all the support in the world. Someone else did the same thing 3 years ago, and he was the worst driver on the grid. It just bothers me. And don't get me wrong, I prefer this outcome where everyone is nice and happy, but you can look at it both ways. He's a young driver, a couple of years in Formula One. Everyone makes mistakes. Or this is his 38th race now, I believe. It's a 36th or 38th race in a Formula One car, because he's outqualified his teammate the exact same amount of times, and he binned it under the safety car. Very easy thing, very, very silly thing to do. Probably had a lot of pressure. I don't have a full-blown conclusion about what happened, but just wanted to mention the disparity between drivers and their fans, and it's just it's not very nice sometimes. And you go all out on one driver and call them an idiot and the worst driver on the grid, and then someone else who does it a couple of years later is completely innocent and is forgiven straight away.
Yeah, it's very easy to have a very sudden knee-jerk reaction to these things. In the case of Grosjean, I mean, he's been a target of people hating on him for a long time, and it's a shame, really, because whenever you see him in interviews on the track, he seems like a really decent bloke.
He does, actually, doesn't he? He does seem like a nice
really
guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah.